DC is disorganized, to say the least, but their fans are not. Where the comics giant has been sleeping on a live-action adaptation of Batman Beyond, a very skilled fan has stepped in to give them a push in the right direction with some very professional concept art. Today at The Binger, we'll be breaking down these new illustrations, taking inspiration from them, and making some predictions about the Batman future.
Ah, brave new world.
This artist, Thomas du Crest, has given us 3 mock-ups. One of the Batman Beyond mask, and another of Bats Beyond squirrel-suited and in full flight. Du Crest, a concept artist at the CGI giant Frame Store, said that, quote, "I wanted to play with the idea of a Batman Beyond adaptation set in Chirstopher Nolan's universe." He said the challenge was trying to mix Nolan's realistic and practical approach with a more futuristic style. Not bad. Now, how do these fit into the next steps for Batman? Here's a quick refresher for those of you who don't have a 20-year memory. And for the unfortunate people who've never seen the show or read the comics, here's an introduction. This version of Batman is not, in fact, Bruce Wayne. His name is Terry McGinnis, and he was, or maybe will be, born in the year 2023. He was born to some very smart parents. One was an astronomer, and the other a research scientist. Unfortunately for the adolescent Terry, his parents split up, and he started acting out, joining a gang and even getting arrested and spending 3 months in juvie. But how does a teenager on the wrong side of the law become the Batman of the future? Well, he's running from a rival gang called the Jokers, yes, with his Ed, whose whole look is pinched from you-know-who. He's running away, and where should he find refuge but the grounds of Wayne Manor, where he meets an old Bruce Wayne who helps him fend off the assailants. This is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. After Terry's dad gets shot by Derek Powers, Bruce takes him under his wing, Mr. Miyagi style. Terry is pretty much his chauffeur, cleaner, and administrative assistant, but in return he gets to wear a futuristic batsuit and learn the tricks of the trade. The aforementioned concept art is meant to carry over the look and feel of the critically acclaimed Christopher Nolan trilogy. Its darker, grittier tone rewrote the superhero movie playbook, and fans have been praying, but also dreading another entry into the series. How possible is it that we'll see another Christopher Nolan Batman movie? Not very. At a recent event for his new film, Ford vs. Ferrari, Christian Bale described how, when filming the Dark Knight trilogy, him and Nolan treated each film like it was the last. But they did have a limit, after which it would really be the last. Chris had always said to me that if we were fortunate enough to be able to make 3, we would stop. Let's walk away after that, he said. Then, when they inevitably came to us and said, how about a number 4? I said no. We have to stick to Chris's dream, which was always to, hopefully, do a trilogy. Let's not stretch too far and become overindulgent and go for a 4th. If movie history is anything to go by, that was probably a safe bet. But if they change their minds, there are certain ways they could swing the transition to a Christopher Nolan Batman Beyond. If we can, for the moment, erase Talia al Ghul's soap opera demise from our collective memories, there is another aspect of The Dark Knight Rises that could be the link we need for a Nolan Beyond. Although it doesn't get a lot of play nowadays, The Dark Knight Rises ended with Bruce Wayne handing down an inheritance to Blake, whose birth name is actually Robin. Not only was the orphanage where he was raised moved to Wayne Manor, but he also got the keys to the Batcave. Now, before you start saying that he won't be the next Batman, but will more likely be the next Robin, listen to this quote from Dark Knight Rises co-writer Jonathan Nolan, who said himself that, quote, "It is a little hard to imagine Robin working in that universe." To many, this implied that there would be no torch passing, but all he's saying is that the darker tone of the Nolan Batmans doesn't fit with Robin's naive optimism. We couldn't agree more. Robin is a dated character, but who said a guy with the first name Robin couldn't become the next Batman? Not only that, but Joseph Gordon-Levitt would be a great Batman. Yes, he is way too serious and sincere for most normal movie roles, but that's perfect for Batman. Just look at the 3 most recent actors who've played the Caped Crusader: Ben Affleck, Robert Pattinson, and Christian Bale. Levitt has, publicly at least, shut this idea down. He said, "I know we're all used to the sort of Marvel movies which are just kind of endless series. They don't really have a beginning, middle, and end. But I think Nolan very much thought of that movie as a conclusion. And there's a theme that runs through all three of those movies that begins in the first movie, runs through the second movie, and it concludes in that moment where he says that Batman is more than a man. Batman is a symbol. And so to have another man other than Bruce Wayne kind of becoming Batman at the end of that trilogy, I think that's the perfect ending to that story. Although yes, he does take all the speculation to London town, he does acknowledge that Blake takes over as Batman. Plus, no movie franchise is sacred anymore. If that doesn't work out, we've got another Batman series coming our way anyway. Most of the cast has been announced, including Robert Pattinson as Batman, Andy Serkis as Alfred, and Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. But in terms of actual story or tone, your guess is as good as ours. This could be a campy musical or a dark psychological thriller. We just don't know. So it stands to reason that maybe it could be Batman Beyond. What do you think of a live-action Batman Beyond? Will it happen? And if so, will it look like these sketches? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to The Binger.